Hey, it's Dave from Trivaeo. Today I'm going to have a brief look at this piece of process and collaboration called activity. Activity really comes into its own in any process or set of activities in your company that is regular and repeatable. I'll use a simple work demonstration today to show the process of handling a lead when a lead comes into your business. Obviously, when I work my way through this demonstration, think how this might apply to your business, irrespective of the business type. So first of all, we have activity statuses. So this is obviously a set of statuses around the concept of red, amber, and green. I've set this up by default. The template is, it's red, one instance of red, one of amber, one of green. So not started, in progress, and complete. I've added a little bit more granularity to the statuses so that I can see how far things are moving through a system. Then it's just a matter of assigning tasks to myself or to other people for various parts of my business so that at a glance I can see how complete things are based on where they are in this not started, in progress, doing something to varying levels of degrees, all the way through to complete. Then in the activity statuses area, you've got the ability to create templates of tasks for things that you do over and over and over again. If you think about this carefully, it may be a wonderful instrument to reduce the amount of time you need to spend training your employees in how your processes work or how you do things. If you're let's say a manufacturing company, let's say a construction company, and you build houses, before you can take a new lead that is approaching you with respect to building a house, you're probably going to want to know a wide range of baseline information before you can even start. For example, does the property or the land have planning permission? Are their drawings complete? Is there an architect assigned to this? Who's the lead contractor? Loads and loads of bits of information that you will need to pull together before you can put yourself in a reasonable place to determine whether you can supply services to assist in building that house or not. If you're a recruitment company, you might deal with a new lead that presents themselves to your recruiting agency, and you need to collect lots of bits of information like their references, their CVs, details of their career history, and so on and so forth. Now that could be encapsulated, in just give me your CV and you're done, but you might want to validate those things. You might want to check with the references and so on and so forth. So there's always a typical template that every business has for the jobs and tasks they do to get something done. And if that can be encapsulated in a process, you can capture it in this template manager. I've done a demonstration one here for purposes of exploring how this works against a process area of leads. But as you can see, you can create these templates for things that you commonly do for leads, opportunities. That's actually an HR and job function, but proposals, quotes, work orders, invoicing, managing contacts, managing companies, and if you have the contracts management application, the supplier due diligence workflow. So back to the one that I've already set up, you can see I've got a template that's active. The template is called working leads, and I've assigned it to the process area of the solution called leads, which is obviously in the CRM area. So back to my process and collaboration. If I look at this template that I've created 3 activities when a new lead presents themselves to our company. First of all, we've got to contact the lead. Then, having contacted them or in the process of contacting them, we determine the need. I was doing a demonstration earlier of a client that was approaching our company asking if we could service their boiler. So obviously, in talking to that lead, we would determine their need, which is to service the boiler, but you need to find out more information before you can mature that lead to an opportunity in in the subtle details. For example, is it a type of boiler that we're certified to repair or maintain? And the final step I've got here and this is a demonstration based on Trivaeo Electrical Services, one of my demo companies. It's a team of electricians. So they talk to the lead that's approaching them about doing some professional services or electrical wiring work. They determine what that client actually needs, because they might present themselves using information that is not detailed enough for you to determine whether it's a lead or not in the first place. So you determine the needs, that's a specific activity, and you then promote or demote this lead to an opportunity based on completing the prerequisite tasks. So it's a really simple demonstration here. If you imagine a dashboard of red, not started, all the way through to green, completed on the right hand side, these tasks will be at varying stages in that process before this lead can be promoted or demoted. So let's have a look at that in a real sense. So I'm just going to pop over to my CRM and I'm going to pick the first contact in my dummy data, Aaron. Aaron Hills will be our guinea pig. I'm going to create a new lead, modeling it on an assumption that Aaron has just phoned in and he's asking for us to go and do some work on some wiring in his house. So that's the lead that I've got the job to create. So I'm going to create that lead. Now, because I'm doing it directly from the CRM contacts management system, all of the prerequisite info is already completed for me. I just have to indicate where the lead came from. So I'm going to use it's a dictionary item, so you can create new lead sources if you need to. He called us out of the blue and say OK. So that lead is now going to sit in the leads management dashboard, and had I assigned the lead to somebody else, they would have had received an email notifying them that a new lead called Aaron Hills has been assigned to them. But just on the assumption that it's me that's going to work this lead through the process, I create the lead, it's a single drop down, fill in one field, you're done. Now let's go and look at the lead in more detail. I've got carryover information from the CRM system, but here, this is where those activity statuses and the red, amber, green progress monitor come together. So if I look at the activity, you can see that it's a basic dashboard running from left to right that shows things cold, moving their way through our activities until they're eventually complete. I could add arbitrary tasks now and assign them to another member of our team to complete for me, like checking what boiler type it is and having one of our specialists make that call. Or I know there's a template created for lead handling in Trivaeo Electrical Services, so I'll copy from template. It is intelligent enough to limit the optional templates to the area that I'm currently in the system. So depending on the area of the CRM system I was currently in, I would see the templates available to that part of the solution shown in this drop down. So you can see it's giving me these three things in this order with a normal priority. They've all been assigned to me, and I said on the template the due date is the date that the document was created. So if I apply that, I've now basically assigned 3 tasks to myself. Now, forgive me, this is a demonstration and I'm showing a really simple process of phoning a lead back, getting more information from them, and then deciding if there's an opportunity there or not. As you can see, I'm 0% of my way through this task as a whole. So let's say I pick up the phone and I call that contact. I can now move this job into the seeking info lead. Everyone else in our business would be able to, and if you watch this, if I open this action, this task up, it says that Dave's currently seeking info from this contact. I haven't had to do anything with this task other than move it from not started to seeking info. As I'm talking to the customer, I get more info, so I can increase my confidence on this or the amount of work completed against this task. And when the task has completely briefed me, the contact rather has completely briefed me, and I'm happy that I've got the information that I need, I can move, determining the needs and contact the lead into the relevant areas. So as I process this workflow or these activities, in this case on the phone call with the client, I can move these things across this dashboard. Now I'm showing this happening in the confines of a single call. Obviously, if you've got a more complex business, like let's say you're a printing agency and you get an email inquiry saying, are you able to produce a 6 foot by 2 foot vinyl banner? Of course, your answer is yes, but you know, how long's a piece of string? Do you need it weather coated? Does it need UV protection? How many colors do you want? Who's doing the artwork? Lots and lots of detail that you need. So you could use the activity templates to describe for all of these different steps, even in handling a simple communication in the form of, can you do this? You can describe these steps so that everyone in your business, if they're a role holder and they have permissions to access your CRM, is able to see what the next task is. Now, the tasks I created in my dummy template didn't have all of the information in about what to do in that piece. Let me go, I'll show you exactly what I mean. So back to process and collaboration, activity templates manager. This one is active. So promote or demote, this one here. Let's edit the promote or demote one. This one, edit. What I could do is in the description is I could actually write down and describe exactly what people need to do at this stage with this piece of work. Yeah, it's assigned for the person who opens the task, but there's no reason why those people don't move it on to somebody else or assign the task to somebody else. Just a note on notifications. If you have CRM, but you haven't bought our task manager, you won't get an overall dashboard as a user of all the tasks that are outstanding for you. What you will get are email notifications that a new activity or a new task has been sent to you for you to detail. I think I've got an example one here from a few moments ago. Let's have a look. CloudWorks IT, there you go. Dave Tidwell just assigned a new task to you with a deadline of the 26th of June. Obviously it's an old one that I just refired. You can view it by opening this link. So opening that link would take that user directly to the task in the system. If you have Task Manager, they could go in My World and they could see a list of all of their tasks coming from all members of the system. And you know, your opportunity as a CRM admin here is to think about what your business traditionally does with various process areas of your business, write down the activities so that your team, when they're working in things like CRM, if I go back to my leads now and I have a look at Aaron and have a look at the activity statuses, that they're able to accept tasks based on what the template says they should do normally. They're able to complete those tasks, or they can open a task and then take it off being their responsibility, and they could actually select anyone else in the company and give them that job to do. So even process and workflow between departments. So let's say I take this lead to a certain level of understanding. We'll use our printing analogy again, and I still need a quote, or I need someone in the graphics team to give me an idea if they can use the picture that the client is now submitted to us. That would obviously be here in my lead as an attachment. I could create a new task for the printer or the artist in our company to have a look at the attachment and tell me, is that okay for you to create that 6x2 banner with? So even if you don't have Task Manager inherently as a licensed application in the suite, obviously if you're using this type of process orchestration with tasks from templates, you definitely want to activate the Task Manager. It's really, really cheap. I think it's £1.50 per user to activate. It means not only will they get the benefit of email notifications when these tasks and processes get assigned to them, but they will have everything clearly visible in their My World in any case. So you can work your way through this. I've decided now that these are complete, and if I look at each one of them, the status has gone from varying levels as I move them, and I'm not having to open it, change the status, and then mark it completed when I'm done. All you have to do is move it from one element of completion to the next. So when I get to the end of the process here, and I've determined the needs and I want to promote or demote this. It's now marked as done. I've got the lead information over here, and I can upgrade the lead now to an opportunity. And the whole thing is automated, including all of the details of the activity and who did what in qualifying the lead, getting further information and promoting it. I know I'm using a very simplistic use case here. It's just so that you can see the relationship of the process and collaboration as it relates to activity statuses, which is the 0 to complete, and the templates, which are the jobs you do vertically that can be at varying levels of completion. So think how this can help your business, especially if your business has got a relatively complex workflow and gates and checks, that these two simple mechanisms worked effectively across all of the capabilities of our business application suite can result in a very beautiful and very elegant description of workflow. And I think its major impact is significantly reducing, potentially, the amount of training you have to give to new hires, because all they have to do when they receive a new task is open the template that tells them what to do, and then they can keep you updated with how far they've processed with it, because you can go check the dashboard to see how far they've got along. So that was a very quick intro, or perhaps not quite so quick now. It's over 16 minutes, sorry for that. But it is a powerful area of the system that is well worth understanding. You might start simply with leads, but work your way through the rest, and by the time you get to the end of it, guess what? You've got an automated business and you're on your way.